What's going on, team? How we doing out there? Welcome back to Start Swing Trade, of course, where we talk about the swing trades that I take and, of course, setups that are out in the market. I'm excited to get to another show, of course, and it started off like a better day for me than it's ending right now. And we'll talk all about that, right? That's just how swing trading goes. And does it mean that I'm going to get out of some trades? I'm still battling in some trades, but I was deep into the green today on a trade. It turned around on me today. I'm still slightly in the red now on this. So I'm just battling on whether I'm going to keep this or take a little bit of a hit. We'll find out. Let's talk all about it right here, right? That's what this show's about. It's good to see you guys in the chat. Let me know what trades you guys are taking out there, and let's talk a little bit about it. Let's get into the first trade, the trade that is causing me to scratch my head a little bit today, and that's how trading goes sometimes, right? Let's talk about XOM. All right, so this is the first one that we're going to talk about. We'll take a look into the market in just a second, but of course, we took this trade on yesterday. I did it at the very beginning, but look how we were coming down yesterday. Came down in the pre-market. Maybe should have just taken my 108 in the pre-market. I was looking for a move to 107 to take first profits and did not take first profits. So this one's a little bit of a tough one. I'm still in this at 109.76 now. And I'm thinking about just, hey, crude bouncing a little bit, keeping my eye on it. I could tell right now. I took a look also. WTI did take another little step up there around 130. But ever since then, it's just kind of hanging out. I think I'm really just going to watch to see if we're really going to get back over 75. We're really battling. We came down there towards 71.57 in the middle of the afternoon around 11:30, right around 11:30. And so if we could come back there and crack 70, I think I'm in the clear for here. So I'm going to keep battling it right now. But hey, that's how sometimes you go from an easy overnight winner to now I'm actually a little bit into the red. So you got to be able to balance it out, right? It's never going to be one way. And that's what I think trading is always about. But I think in here, this is going to be one that I'm looking for a little bit of a bigger move. Just didn't get it. Now bouncing back. And now I got to determine, am I going to hold this above the 111s? No, I probably won't. But I can start seeing here that at least we're topping out right now. Can we just turn around here towards the close? It won't be too bad. But a move back up, let's say above 110.25s, and we're not looking good there in ExxonMobil. All right, another one that I have also into the slight red now is XLE. This one was also up a significant amount this morning, up about a point on this one. Now it's working its way back here to 80.94. And I just got to determine, do I still see the oil trade turning around? Yes. So with that being said, hey, you're going to win some, you lose some. For right now, I'm holding off, especially off kind of Monday's high for here, 81.75. We're close to that 81. I'm at 80.78. We'll see what happens. I can hold at least about a point of risk here, and it won't be too bad of a hit, right? So that's the way I like to work my swing trades. I'm going to let them get a little bit more work. We'll see what happens here on this oil trade. And it's not easy, right? Because overnight, yeah, I couldn't land at that point. But of course, if I'm going to risk a point, I'm probably not going to make a point because my idea there would be to expand that reward to like about 3 points. And that was close on like XOM. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at some other trades that I'm in. I did take one based off of a breaking news headline today. This is the new trade out there right now, which is Gilead. Gilead, I started seeing news about the report. CNBC was the first one I saw breaking it. It was about that they didn't violate the government patents on the HIV prevention treatment. So it looks like the jury cleared them. I thought this could give them a little bit of a lift. It started giving them the lift. Now has gotten into the green. I got this at 78.66. It's at 78.80s. Just looking to see if this can bounce back some. Has a lot of kind of underneath kind of levels to look at right now. Prior 2 days, 78.22s. 78.13, now 78.23. Can that be act as a bottom and slowly make its way back? I'll keep an eye on Gilead. Just took a little bit of a swing trade on this one, especially off the breaking news. Already getting a little lift, but nowhere near what I'm looking at. We'll see what happens if they can keep pushing higher. FAZ is another one that just kind of hanging on by a thread right now. This one was deep into the green this morning, up towards the 22s, and was close to taking this. But of course, the trade kind of reversing on me. You guys can see it today. Bank of America up higher, JPM up higher, Goldman Sachs up higher. And so I'm looking here towards the end. Are they going to sell the banks off at the end? Because if that happens, I'll still be fine in FAZ, especially if I don't get stopped out. I got in there at 21.45, and I was deep into the green, up about 3% today. But the key here is that I'm not going to let it come back through my entry. We got in this one really towards the end of the day yesterday. That was right around here when it was starting to come back up towards the close. So you could see the overnight action was perfect, just maybe getting a little bit too picky. Maybe, I got to take the 2.5. I was looking for more of a 4% winner. And you can see at the top of today, we were about 3.12. It was close to that 4% winner. Just didn't get it. Maybe it would have been me just being a little picky, but we'll see what happens here. I won't lose on FAZ. If it does stop me out, hey, it can stop me out, break even. I can always get back in the name. All right, that's FAZ. That's pretty much the trade outlook that I have. Let's go to the SPY now. Let's take a peek at what's going on. You guys can see the sideways action we've been in. And it just seems like yesterday also. It's kind of sideways action, sideways action. Towards the end, we did kind of lift a little bit, but some more just indecision. And I think this is all about the CPI report coming in tomorrow. You guys saw how I put it out there. CPI tomorrow, what's going to happen? It's going to be pretty big, right? We'll see what happens. Will we come in hot? Will we come in light? And how will that affect the stocks themselves, right? Will we see tech turn around? Or is it just going to be this continued lifting of strength in tech? And of course, seeing other stocks turn around. I think it's going to affect all different types of stocks. I mean, stocks have made a huge lift today. There was a little bit of a battle in some of these tech names. You guys can see NVIDIA down today, Apple down today, and Google was in the green, now starting to get back into the red. So I have a feeling we might see a little leaking here towards the end here. But I also think this is also about profit taking, right? Some people maybe not wanting to take the CPI report tomorrow and, are starting to think, well, maybe I just start taking some of these profits. Even AMD that was really strong all day, starting to turn around a little bit. So we'll see what happens there on these trades. There was one that I got stopped out break even today, and I'm kind of upset the way that I traded it, which was the SQQQ. I would still have this team if I just held to my original risk. I got this one and I started building a position. Very early on, I was up there towards 29.06. And as this one came back right here for this kind of wick down period below the VWAP, I started seeing the SPY rise above the VWAP. And I said, you know what? I can't really watch this too close. So I'm going to cut out of this one, the SQQQ. I had built up a decent sized position. And as you can see, it just lifted right back up to 29.20s, not really making a move, but also not really breaking down. And sometimes I'm okay to stay sideways as long as I can stay with the risk. This is one of those cases where I just got stopped out and named that I didn't stick to my original plan. And so, hey, just like that, who knows? Maybe we see the SQQQs rip a little bit higher. I will keep a watch on that, especially if we start seeing the SPY start to decline here. So you can see we just put a recent candle down. Now we bounce. Will we come right back down towards those 411s and start to break down? All right, let's keep going. We'll see what happens to these names. The Qs is also important to watch, and you can see the Qs kind of almost leading down here. To me, this is profit taking, right? And so we got to keep an eye on to see what happens in the market today. Tesla, it was just starting to do well. Well, there you go. It pulled back really quickly. So we'll see what happens there in Tesla and some of these other names. Microsoft, even IBM had good news today. It was putting out AI talk, and even that couldn't make the lift today. So that just goes to show me that I think you're starting to see more profit taking and a rotation starting to collect that cash in technology. All right, let's go to some different sectors. And of course, stick around, team. I'm excited to go ahead and have my man Jeff Dees in the house. He's going to be joining us in just a few minutes. 3:30. We'll be getting into some trade ideas from him. And like always, one of the things that I always like to do is kind of just go about it of how does this trader trade differently than I do, right? We all have strengths and weaknesses. And I think it's very important learning from each other, whether that be the strength or the weakness, right? Maybe it's something that applies to your weakness. Well, always we get something out of traders. So excited to get Jeff D's on. That's going to be later today. You guys smash the like and let's stick around. Let's catch up. What's the action in the chat? What's going on out there, team? Looks like Easy Mike, Carmen in the house. Of course, smoked tuna. Talked about that bluefin tuna, baby. Wicked tuna. I want to go fishing for some tuna, man. I'm not even going to lie. I need to catch me one of those 400, 500 pounders. Can't blame me, though. All right, let's keep going. EKS, WTI, crude June futures settling at 73.71. We'll see what happens there, right? It did go up today. That's something that I'll keep on watch. I always like WTI to keep an eye on it, but we'll find out what's going on. And hammer, don't hammer me too much, man. Nah, I'm just playing. I was checking in on some other action. You know how it is. There's always so much things going on at Benzinga. Sorry about I was a little bit late, team. All right, PayPal, what a nasty reaction to earnings. Yeah, nasty reaction to earnings. We were looking at this yesterday, and I'm not going to lie. This looked a little bit bullish here when I was seeing these wick action here to the downside. I thought there was some buying going on here in the 74s and 73. Earnings came and just deleted what I thought was some buyers there. And you can see today's reaction on PayPal, not looking bueno, really actually pretty bad here because it didn't even give you a chance. Like it just complete washout back down there now to 66.40s. And this tells me that I'm scared about Square here also. But look at Square, opposite reaction. We don't get this often. I think that's something to keep an eye out. Will this relationship separate? Will Block start making an up move and PayPal making a down move? Something to keep a watch on because PayPal's getting hit pretty hard the last 2 days. Square, not doing the same right now. Actually reversing off kind of the 59s as it cut through below and now coming right back up. We'll see what happens here on Block. That's doing a lot better than PayPal. And it's interesting because usually they move hand in hand. We'll see what happens on this with Square and PayPal. All right, let's keep going. What other ones reported today that we can maybe just take a little peek into? I know Under Armour, Plug Power, names like that, Lucid. Did Lucid come back a little bit? Not too bad. A little bit of a bounce back. We won't hit it too hard. And what about the Frisky Fisker? Where is it at? Oh, that came back a little bit. They bought that at the open. I mean, at least back towards kind of the pre-market levels. And you can see it's trying to build back a little bit. Fisker here. This is probably, I mean, if I had to pick between Lucid or Fisker, I would say Fisker, but I'm going to keep a watch on this to see if it pushes a little bit higher. Nothing that I want now, right? Because they're still struggling. Wait till I start hearing that, or just let me know, team. When you guys start seeing Oceans passing by you on the street, give me a call. I'll start looking at Fisker. We'll see what happens on that one. It's an interesting play for sure. Let's go underneath the hood. Let's take a look. Energy bouncing a lot today. Of course, we talked about that already. Basic materials getting a little bit of a bounce back there. What was doing well there? Let's take a look from the open to see what was doing well. I see industrial metals and minerals have done well from the open, and that's, of course, going to include some of your kind of lithium plays, things like that, to keep an eye out there. You guys can see BHP showing up here. Let's go to the daily chart. These are some of your metals and mineral plays to keep an eye out for. And I kind of like this little setup as it starts to come back, especially if it can make its way towards like this recent high of the 61.68 on Monday. Clear that out, and it's not going to be looking too bad. You got Rio. You got Valet, man. I've seen people play this countless times. It has a tendency of coming back down and then uptrending and coming down and then all the way back to the uptrend. So we'll see. Does this start moving back towards the upside? CCJ falls into this. You guys have seen this one move before. Look how this one's been hanging in there and just continuing to climb after this one came from pretty much pennies, man. And this one I remember back down at $6 and just continues to climb. Every pullback seems like it's getting bought up, and a hell of a good day today, CCJ. All right, we'll see what other ones are here. You can see MP Materials. MP Materials is definitely a lithium player, getting a little bit of a move up. LAC is one that we've been talking about, starting to get a little bit of a move. This one doesn't look too bad at all. I love how it turned around here around the 20s. So on the longer term chart, look at this monthly chart on LAC. This is actually one that I'm thinking about taking a little bit of a longer term swing. So I'd have to hold off the monthly chart and kind of hold below this 20, maybe towards the 19, really start with a nice little starter, then work my way down on pullbacks. This one doesn't look bad at all. LAC, as it starts getting this nice little drive higher, we get to push up towards 79, pretty much 2180s. Now pulls back towards 2122s here. If I could get it slightly below 21, I wouldn't mind taking a shot here off, let's say like 19 here on Lithium Americas. Let's see if I can get that. LTHM, another one, right, that is making a little bit of an up move. I'm keeping an eye on this one. This one also looking good here as it starts to push back up through the 25. PLLs, another one that I look at all the time. Piedmont Lithium. This one's setting up. You can see here on a nice little kind of declining action right now. But if you can get just above, back towards the 60s, you're going to be looking pretty good here towards the 65s. Let's go to the weekly. You can see how kind of it's in this longer term trend line outlook. Can it get back there towards the 65, start pushing towards the 70s, and you'd be looking pretty clear in Piedmont Lithium. One thing to keep in mind is I think in the long run, someday down the line, I think lithium names are going to be the first to kind of really react, and then the EVs will really react. I know that everyone looks for this trade, and this is kind of more investment talk, but definitely I think in the long run, lithium names will take off, and then you'll see EV players really take off, because at the end of the day, we're going to need those lithium players to really kind of push higher, get more lithium out of the ground to then go ahead and get that EV wave adoption that we're all looking for. All right, let's keep going. It's about 3:22. I got about 8 minutes left until we bring on our guest today. Square, a disappointment today. Mitch, what about PSNY? I see those cars all over. Those are Polestar, right? That's what you're talking about? Yeah, I just wanted to make sure there. PSNY. And the big thing about Polestar is I think it's all about debt, right? And I mean, you just got to look into the companies to really look underneath the hood. See, are they going to be able to make money or not, right? I think a lot of the times you can see here, this has gone straight down. Where's the financials in this company? And take a look at that, right? That's going to determine if you think they can turn it around. And look at it, right? In the long run, what do you see them turning around? What kind of market share? What type of vehicle do they have? Is it a really expensive vehicle? And how does that compare to other options, right? Is there a Polestar that's really comparable to, let's say, a Tesla, so that you can see how it's outselling each other and understand what's going to move forward in the market share? It's very difficult when you're thinking about vehicles names, because you just don't know. Also, you got to dive deep into the fundamentals to understand how much are they spending on each car, how much profitability do they make on each vehicle, the margins. And that's why Tesla goes up and down so much whenever it mentions price changes of their vehicles. You can just imagine if that affects Tesla so much, imagine how it would affect a company like Polestar. So keep your eyes on names like that, and we'll see what happens in the EV space. But definitely, if I had to pick between Polestar, Fisker, I think I'm still picking Fisker. All right, let's keep going. What other ones are being mentioned in the chat? What's up out there? DWAC. Yeah, I'll leave the DWAC for the DWACers out there. That's not really my kind of thing, but we'll keep an eye on it. All right, saw the commercials during the NBA games. PSNY had poor guidance. Yeah, that's the problem, right? And especially right now, the space in autos, I don't think it's going to be something that, we're getting mass adoption in 2023. No, maybe some in 24, but really where I think EV kicks off is 2025. So keep your eyes out. We'll see what happens in 25, and to see also maybe the LiDAR plays. Who knows? Just keeping an eye on them, right? Luminar works with NVIDIA. Who knows? We'll see what happens there. All right, let's keep going to some other names. Basic materials. We talked about financial services coming back a little bit today. Global banks not doing too bad. Down overall, but coming back from the open, actually green. So keep your eyes on that aspect. Industrials getting a little bit of a bounce back today. I've talked about GE, can't stop, won't stop. Look at that. I almost didn't even need to look at the chart to know that it was up. Look at GE coming right back up. It just never wants to break down. And if GE doesn't want to break down, well, I'll continue to watch the diversified industrials. ITW is another one that I'm keeping on watch. But look how this goes up and right back down. Well, we're getting alert here from an auto one. And it's funny, we talk about autos, and next thing you know, we get an alert on one. We're getting an alert right now of a price trend line that I have set for PAG, Penske Automotive. And of course, we're talking kind of more into the trucking when we're talking about this. But look at that nice little move higher today, back through the 142s. Looks like it wants to continue pushing towards the 150s. Don't mind this move at all. Nice little hourly chart as this pushes higher into the 142s. Not a bad one to keep on watch. And with that PAG, I can look at KMX, CarMax, and look at CarMax going a little bit higher. We talked about this. If we saw that PAG move, would we see CarMax maybe move higher through the 74s and continue lifting? It does look strong today. Got a nice little pullback to 71.37, and we'll see if it can keep pushing. All right, we'll see what other ones is out there. Lithium is out to get smoke from Sodium Tech from China. We'll see what happens there. LAC, I'm crazy for ABML. Am I really hoping that it grows into a story? Oh, that's that ABML. Let me see that one here. American Battery Technology. I've traded one like this one before. It wasn't this one specifically. It was a Chinese name. But hey, we'll see if this one can get a little bit of a move higher. I've also traded like WBX Wallbox, but that actually doesn't look too bad. Just got a recent pop, WBX. All right, let's keep going. Let's get out of that one. Let's keep taking a look. And yes, I can take a look at AQST. Stick around. I'll get into that. Let's get into another one here. Wally wanted to take a look at Upstart. Stick those on the list. We'll definitely keep a watch. And as you see that PAG alert, really quickly, what do I get an alert for? AN, AutoNation. So AutoNation wants to take another step up. Okay. AZO maybe wants to go a little bit higher. Yeah. AutoZone, man. I'm telling you, this company, when it does and gives you these kind of pullbacks, this had been an amazing opportunity on these pullbacks. It breaks this trend line for just a little bit here in March. And look where it is now. Just even that move alone, nice 16% higher on a stock that's $2,000, almost $3,000. I know this stock is super expensive, but even one share would have gave you a nice like $400 win there. That's not too bad, right? I mean, AutoZone, it's a beast, man. It can't stop, won't stop. These are the type of stocks you want in a long-term portfolio that just don't turn around on a monthly or quarterly basis. Look at that. I mean, complete monster of a stock. Can't stop, won't stop. I'm not getting in front of it. All right, let's keep going. We'll take a look at one more sector. Let's go to technology because that's so important. It's actually ending the day break even. And I'm starting to see more and more topping. So we drew this just a couple days back. We created it on the 4th. So keeping on watch to see if technology is going to make that down move into there, right? Or will we get the lift? I think this is going to be a lot depending on what happens tomorrow with the CPI. All right, guys, it's about 3:28. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up my outlook here, and we're going to bring on my guest. And then after my guest, we'll make sure to leave a little bit of ticker time. So names like you guys are mentioning, Upstart, those kind of names, stick around. And a little bit, I will be doing about like 10 or 15 minutes of ticker time, all depending on the interview. But smash the like if you guys are enjoying this, and let's go ahead. Let's get to our interview today. Let me take a last little peek into the SPY. You're seeing a little bit of a bounce here. The battle's on out there. And still in the red there for XOM. That one's just going to be one that I'm going to have to fight with a little bit. We'll see what happens there. All right, getting out of my trades and my outlook, let's go ahead and put myself full screen and bring on, of course, my guest for today. And I always really love going to guys that, you know, used to be just like me in the chat, right? That's what it's all about. Let's go ahead. Let's bring on Jeff Dees. How we doing, man? It's good to see you.
Hey, it's good to see you. It's been a while. Kind of been lurking in the background, been in the chat here and there.
Yeah,
But
that's how we all start, man. And then we just keep growing and growing, man. And I think that
hmm
I always love it, man. That's how I started. You guys remember I used to be on pre-market prep, and I had to go in there a little bit and see the boys, right? And
hmm
I know that's how it is. And one of my things about start swing trade is that, a lot of day traders out there usually start in day trading even before they go to swing trading, right? And I know I started at doing day trading first, and I still remember the days where I was just first starting to get in, and I learned all about Tim Sykes out there, and Warrior Trading, and
hmm
so many other chat rooms out there that I've been a part of. And I battled with them all, right? I was in with some of the greatest, and I really learned that in day trading, it was going to take a lot of really quick execution skills, right? And as I slowly moved away from the day trading action and slowly started checking out different ways of trading, I found swing trading, right? And swing trading really became my bread and butter. That's why I started this show, right? Because at the end of the day, where I'm truly could say, hey, I mean, you could see it, right? Where the profitability really lies for me is in my swing trading. And what does that do? It gives me the ability to have smaller share size, less risk. And, I still remember all those day trades that I used to take with like, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 shares. And like, you would literally see like drips of sweat come down and stuff. Your heart goes. I
hmm
know that you've dealt with some of this aspect, right, Jeff? I
I
know you've
actually put
seen
like a
both
little
sides of this.
a pulsometer on my finger while I was doing some of that,
Dude, I wish
and
I
I
had
was.
mine. I think I have it right in that basket behind me. And I did the same. And I would even watch it. I'd have rules, Jeff. I'd be like, no, if I'm over 180, I'm not trading and things like that. Like if I'm running while sitting down, that might
hmm
not be the time to trade, right? And I think
Yeah.
there's so much aspects to trading that people
hmm
talk about with day trading. But I know that you've been starting to truly dip your toes in kind of more of that swing trading life. What
Yes, I
what
have.
have you found from both sides? You tell me, Jeff.
Both sides of it. You can get very quick gains in day trading, but you got to be right a lot of the time. And if you're wrong a few times, that account size can just drastically change, which then you got to change that style of trading.
Yeah.
Um, so either way, or if you don't, it just hopefully you hit a home run. But if not, it's just gonna continually go through that. That's why really important to try to keep a journal.
Hmm.
Kind of look through those past trades, like where was I successful? Um, where did I go wrong on a lot of these others? And that's important too. And kind of taking ownership of that. Like, hey, this is a point where I should have taken that turn. Um, but really, as I kind of went through that journal and kind of went through that path, seeing that swing trade always be there. Um, and either whether it's with shares or sometimes with options. With options, still you have to understand that theta value
Yeah.
and that decay, because that's something that'll eat you up. If you don't understand that while you're trying to swing trade options, you're really gonna run into your margin. Like, and anything that you might have had that day is gone the next morning, and you're like, what happened to this? So shares don't disappear. Um, you don't wake up the next day with fewer shares.
Yeah.
That's kind of
I,
nice. I like that.
Yeah, I did too. I did too, right? And one of my things with trading is that I've done tons of search into things that are complicated, right? And that are complex, that take a lot of things, different variables. But I've always tried to figure out ways to make it simple, right? And I think that that's what swing trading really does for me. I understand where my risk is on the charts. I understand where my out is, and I can bring different variables like catalyst into play, right? I can try to look to see that, hey, this is not just a technical setup, but it has good fundamentals, right?
hmm
Analysts like this stock right now, right? They like this area, this industry. They could see revenues expansion in this space, right? Market share gaining, things like that. And then I can combine that with like a catalyst approach or maybe it's even just a hot area. Like let's
Mhm.
say it has AI behind it or something
Yeah.
like that right now, right? We're seeing everybody talk about AI. Well, let's find plays that analysts like, that has AI mentions, and
Mhm.
then has good technicals. Then I'm feeling good about trading these names. And I go to sleep and I'm like, do I worry about these names? Not really, because there's a lot of conviction behind these plays. And of course, that's what we want to try to find, right? We're not always going to have
Yes.
the biggest conviction on every trade, but if we can get closer to those higher conviction trades, that's when I really feel like, okay, now we're not just trading any name. We're taking a systematic approach to it.
Yeah, one thing I noticed was kind of on my entry, kind of either getting in a little early and kind of letting it filter down. That's when I started kind of really studying kind of like drawdowns with like maybe Elliott wave or
Mm-hmm.
with Fibonacci sequences, and really kind of knowing where those algos are going to trade at, because half of what's being traded is not a human trader. As we talk about AI, there you go. Those funds are using those AIs that they've had for years, to trade and to make money off of us. So not just us. I don't want to say it just like that, but just the whole establishment. So
Yeah, the overall traffic there, right? I
mhm,
mean, that's the truth. And I feel like I run way more into the algos during my day trading action than I do in my swing trading action. So sometimes I let the algos do their thing, right, on certain
mhm,
stocks, and I'm like, well, you guys have control of this. I don't, right? And I think that that's an important thing too, is understanding where our strengths and weaknesses are. And
yep,
yeah, can I ride a name up like I rode Palantir today on live trading? Yeah, I can ride
yeah,
it. But is this going to be my bread and butter? Probably not. And I
mhm,
think that that's what we need to try to figure out. What's going to be the butter, right? What's going to
yeah. Is
put
that
it
gonna
on the
win?
table, right, Jeff?
Hey, is that gonna win more than 50% of the time? That's the
Right?
deal. I mean, that's gonna make you that profitable trader. Is like this
Yeah.
trade gonna make me a winner 50% of the time or more, and then
Yeah.
that's where one of those odds after that. So I really, when I stepped back and I looked at that, kind of like that risk on, risk off of like being able to get in and not worry about missing out on that trade. You know
Yeah.
what? This is what I charted. This is my strategy. This is my entry. I'll plug my entry in, plug my stop in, let it take care of itself, and
Yeah.
let me check back with it. So being able to kind of be a little bit more hands off made me a little bit, I mean, not a little bit, a lot better at really handling that emotion during trading.
Hell yeah,
Um,
dude. And
that's
you know that now I know that you this isn't the only thing you do, right, Jeff? And so with this being said, right, we need to have ability to still be in the trading action, right? Because we want to
Mhm.
trade, right? And I agree with that, Jeff. I feel it every day, right? If I want to stare at charts all day
Yeah.
long, but the truth is that that's not beneficial to me either. I've done that
Yeah.
too, right?
Your health is really affected by that too. When you
Yeah,
watch every single tick, I feel like I'm gonna die at 55. Like
yeah.
just point blank. That just makes me feel like the way.
Yeah,
So
and exactly. And I think that's where really I think swing trading comes in, and it gives you that ability to just relax, let the plans work and let the market work for you. I say this all the time. And really the only time I really figured this out was more with swing trading. What it meant
yep,
for the market to work for me. Like it's just doing
exactly.
its thing and it's making me money, right? That
Mhm.
that feels so good. I'm not gonna lie. It feels good, right, Jeff? Like
It
you're like, man,
absolutely does.
I don't really have to do anything now. I just literally have to just be patient in good plays, and
That's
it could
absolutely right.
go and continue in my favor. And really, that's the only way that I started coming up on, like, let's say, when 2020 was around and, you could get, 30, 40, 50% returns consistently. A
Yeah.
lot of that was when I was just swing trading and letting the trade just ride with the momentum, right?
That would be an amazing time to just have, I mean, even if you're somebody that goes in and takes a profit at a certain percentage and then leaves runners, um, even if you're there, you're still just watching those rise and you're just, hey, I mean, not that you were just right about it. you had a strategy that was expressed. Like I feel like that's more like kind of a little bit more technical about it. Really
Yeah.
kind of finding um, that resistance point, finding the support, going through and finding each level in between, and watching that stock rise, and it does feel amazing. I watched that it was Boyle. I did that last year. Went from like 42 to like 100 and something, and I was just like, okay, now, like I
Yeah.
just like it's like I watched it every couple days after it hit over 100, and I'm like, I am completely fully expressed. Like I don't need to even do this anymore. My line was 104, so like I don't need to watch this anymore. I don't care what it runs to. I'm gonna take my stuff out. So
Yeah, and that's why I did this show, right? Is at the end of the day, I think that a lot of traders, if they really start looking into it, and you got to figure out what's best for you, right?
mhm,
How much time can you put in, right? Is going to weigh in that. How much emotions can you handle? Because the truth
mhm,
is, yeah, I mean, when you start trading those day trades with big sizing, it puts your heart at a certain stress level that you got to know if you're able to capable of handling that
mhm.
consistently. And yeah, you might be able to handle it one day, 1 year, but like Jeff said, if it's going to kill us by 50, bro, I mean, it might not be the most beneficial thing for our lives, right?
That's true. And then
Um,
you got to look and see like how is it affecting you to the people around you, your loved ones. Like that's
right?
one thing I had to back up and look at. It was like I could handle and stay there and just be in that grind and be in that mindset. But then if like I was interrupted during some of those times, how was I responding to my kids? How was I responding to my wife? How was I responding to the
So
people that I
important,
love the
man.
most in my life? So
We got
that
to
give and
find a
take.
balance, right? We
Hmm.
got to find a balance. And I think this is so important. I could talk about just this, guys, all day because this is truly how you find who you are as a trader. And I talk about this all the time.
Yes.
Personality matters so much, right? In gaining what is good for our personality, what is not good for our personality, right? What are our part of our addictions? What are part of the
Hmm.
areas that actually can benefit us where we can have that mastery in our jobs and our lives, right? And finding ways to get around that, right? And I think that swing trading, the size that I put on, even when the worst trade goes against me, I don't feel like the end of the world that day. And I think that that right there is more valuable to me than going after those trades that could make me the Lambo, right? Because at
Hmm.
the end of the day, they could also lose you the Lambo too, really quickly.
Very quickly. They could lose you those 3 years later when you do hit that Lambo trade. Because
Yeah.
that's, I mean, it's about making those small gains and stacking them, and
Hmm.
just trying to trying to build on each trade. I figured that I had a really couple big trades at the end of 2021 that were good size, and hey, I thought everything might do that all the time. Well, it doesn't.
Yeah.
There's a lot of over evaluation during that period. The market kind of taken off, and I didn't understand that. That's why I did jump into like being Benzinga trading school to check it out and and really start to learn that process. Um, I wish it I wish I could have jumped in about a year earlier because that
Yeah.
it would have been just amazing. But now it's time to. This is the time where you see that grind. You see the difference with the liquidity level where things are a lot different and where that sector rotation goes, and with technology kind of pushing really right up against the resistance line right now. I don't know if like Microsoft and Apple can really carry him above that anymore. They've already carried him to it. So
Yeah.
what else is going to be there to push him over that line?
Love
Um,
it. Love it. This is what I'm talking about, Jeff. I love it. That's the good stuff, man. That's why you see me always looking at like sectors and industries because
hmm.
if I can find what's next, then forget what's the old, right? Because it's going to come back. And there's always this move, like this ever rotation going on in the market, right? Ever
Yeah,
rotation,
it seemed like
whatever it
the
is.
beginning of like 2022, it went into energy oil, and you saw the almost like this production that had halted or kind of slowed, because they saw what happened during COVID and kind of what happened during that flash crash in 2018 with a lot of companies that are smaller oil companies going under. So the larger companies, XOM, Chevron, they kind of slowed their processes down, still had a lot of reserve, and then the price of oil went up, and they're still pumping into the reserve and gaining that, and that price goes up, so their valuations keep going up, and they hit all-time highs. It's something where at some point there's got to be a correction there. That's where I was watching. I watched Gush and Drip, which are two 2x bear and bull funds that kind of run consecutively. So
Yeah.
when one's kind of getting very kind of extended, the other one is pretty low in price, and you can get some good, nice little gaps and gap in between, like just overday swings, 2-3 day swings that are very, very nice.
Yeah.
Profit at least like 9 to 12 to 18% just real quick. So it's little things like that I kind of figured out where can I find where something is kind of overbought, and where can I take access to that without having to go buy a put, without having to go buy an option? Where can I go buy shares that give me a leverage point if I want to have that leverage point to kind of get a little bit more off that trade? And when you're grabbing something at $17, $14, and you're making a couple bucks off of it, that's a very nice little profit. So you're getting that bang for your buck off that. So
And
that's what I've been doing.
Quick returns, right? Quick returns. That's an easy way of doing kind of what I call a swing high to swing low, right? You're seeing that already, and it's tapping, or maybe it could be a daily resistance, or it could be a daily support, and then now you can go after it in that case, because now you're using a daily level in your intraday action to come about it, and then now know where your risk is, because you're not using just an intraday level. You're using also multi-time frame, right? And that's what I really love doing, right? And now I'm using what? Now I'm using my day trading ability to give me the better swing trades. That's what I really start trying to do. And that's why I even do live trading to this day. It's not necessarily I do live trading, guys, because you guys see me killing it on live day trading action, right? I try to take my day trades really small now. Really small. Like where, like, let's say really where the account is going to go up on is going to be the swing trading action, because that's where I know that's the good stuff for me. But that doesn't mean that I can't take day trades, but I'll take little bets that where it's just going to be tiny singles all the time if it's day trading action. But also this gives me the ability, if one of those day trades start going really nice and I got a really nice entry and I'm looking at it in a little bit of a longer approach, I can leave it for the swing trade action, right? And then it also helped me because I went in and probably in that day trade with the small size to begin with. And so then now it's no longer that much of a stress on me, right?
Exactly. You didn't get that emotion that
didn't
hit
get
right
it.
to the lungs.
And we're in the play, and it's working right. And that's how I really let things get to that point where a day trade becomes a swing trade. And that's why I even say it in my description, where a lot of times a lot of day traders fail, they become swing traders. and the reason why I think this is that we all want to be trying to limit the risk. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're be here for often and you're going to be here for a long period of time, you're looking at this as a journey and an actual career in the long run. You're just trying to limit the risk and play the everyday action, right? We're trying to improve every day and be able to play every day at the end of the day, because if not, then we're just wasting our time, right? We're all here trying to get that expansion, but it's not on one trade. It's not on one trade. And I think that's what majority of traders come in. They pull their $2,000 account. They go
Chips all on one.
They go to 30 times one leverage. And they say, yes, this is the one. AI, I'm just going to go long right here.
C3 AI, let's go.
Yeah, 1,000
it says
shares.
AI in it. Let's do it.
The stock might move $8 today, but I'm gonna go 1,000 shares. The truth is that we want to be setting ourselves up for success, right? And I think that's really where I think swing trading has gotten us. And I'm glad to see that at least, Jeff, you found your way, which is important here, right? It's not my way. It's your way. And I think that that's the important thing to do for you guys out there. Think about this. Have I found my way of trading, right? And if you can answer that, then yeah, feel positive about that, because it takes a long time to really say that and feel confident about your position, right? And that's why I don't stress too much on trading anymore. And I feel like I've gotten to that next level where, yeah, I could probably size up and things like that to make the stress will come back. Trust me, when you do that, it comes back real quick. But another thing is that you want it to be a repeatable process, right? Where I can come in, take some trades, do my work, come out, go enjoy my weekend, go enjoy my family, go enjoy my kids, right? I mean, that's what it's about, right? So let's get into a little bit more of the different side. Let's get into some of your actual trade ideas. I know that you came prepared, Jeff. We've been killing it. We've been loving it. I don't know if you need time for the closing of the market. If you do, let me know, Jeff.
No, I'm actually
because it is 3:50 and we're enjoying this a little too much. Like always, it happens. But I know the chat's enjoying it, so we can keep this going. Let's do this.
Awesome. I hadn't even been paying attention to him. I have him over there on another screen.
All right, no worries. I'm still good too. I take a little peek at my swings. I got XLM going back into my favor. So hey, you see, that's how it is. Sometimes it's in and then it goes away. We'll see what happens. All right, Jeff, let's go ahead.
My SQQ. So
yeah, you held on to your SQQQ.
Yeah, that's where I'm looking at.
Hey, you probably did better than me on that. I got stopped out for like literally nothing, just break even. And I was like, man, that was not a good one today. But hey, you win some, you lose some, right, team? All right. If you want to take a look there, you'll see the present button at the bottom.
I got you.
And there you go. You got your charts up there. When you're ready, I'll get you up there. Boom. We got you, Jeff. Let's go ahead. Let's talk about this. This could be old trade ideas. This could be new trade ideas. We just want to kind of take a look into how you trade, Jeff. So thank you for taking a look underneath the hood for you.
Yep. Trying to switch to my 15-minute, and I'm getting lag.
No worries. It's okay.
Nice, good lag. It's all good. What I was looking at here was a little bit of an older trade, but something that I'm watching the level, and that's where I kind of added a little bit today. We're gonna stay. Let's go back to anything. We're gonna just refresh.
Yeah, no worries. It should get it. There you go.
There we go.
Boom, boom.
Boom, boom. There we go. A little bit different. So
I like your colors.
Yeah, it's something where I took the red and the green, and I hit them for myself because that kind of evokes that emotion and kind of trick my mind a little bit to not really see that. I got to tell myself which one is which. Sometimes I'll switch them on a different thing to be like opposite. So I have to really pay attention rather than getting that immediate withdrawal of emotion from it. So
I've done them into one color, man. Forget it.
There you go. That's how you do it. I love it.
It becomes a line pretty much, man. It becomes a line after that, right? I mean,
you start just watching that almost a histograph at that point.
Exactly.
So, all right. So this is where I saw at first, way back a little bit on the 18th, is where I kind of started looking at SQQ. And I saw it kind of touch this zone once. I missed out on that one. Watched it run its course, and I saw it really come in here and go right up above where I had a marked resistance zone or support zone, kind of what I call a SR zone, and really tighten up all day. I mean, just right along that line. And then come in the next day after it kind of pops in. After I kind of want to get in here, it pops. I'm like, oh man, I missed my trade opportunity. Well, it comes down here and just really holds it again toward the end of the day. So, boom, I'm in there.
Yeah.
And then we get the next day popping. That's the thing is with some of these leveraged ETFs, you're gonna get that early morning pop, and right as that market starts, you're not gonna have that opportunity to grab that profit. That's why you're working them on a swing basis. It's not just that you need to kind of adjust that time frame, time horizon to kind of where can I grab those profits. That's when I went over here where my initial target was. I actually had this purple line a little bit closer here. So my target was right in there, 32, just a little over 32. As soon as it hit there, exercised my trade at like 32.08 or whatever, pulled and took my profits there. Yeah, it pushed up a little bit later, but I'll take my my $2 there.
Yeah, and in this
all
market,
day.
this is the killer trade, right? Because the truth is that this market, yeah, can give you that expansion there at the 3250s, but the truth is that a lot of the times we're going to get that hold of the range and right back to the bottom of the range, right?
Mm-hmm.
And this is what we've been seeing and dealing with. So one thing is always know what environment you're dealing with. If you're dealing with a range bound environment, it might be better to trade a range bound environment, right?
Yep.
And
Exactly.
then thinking about that, right? If we're on breakout modes and you're seeing breakouts all over charts, well, then that might be okay to ride the trend a little bit higher, right? For continuation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that that's the important thing. The SQQQs the other day did the same thing to me. I rode that little move towards that
Oh yeah.
30s. And,
Yeah.
and then I ended up taking some profits and then stopping out break even. This is what I do often because the truth is that it happens and you're going to get these pullbacks, especially on the SQQQ. They have a tendency of coming back
Mm-hmm.
down to hourly levels, hourly supports. You'll get a
Yep.
level like that where you got a good entry and then very next day it's going to come back and test that area.
That's where I create all my little zones, is on that hourly level. And that's what
And
I'm
the
looking
hourly
for.
chart is such an advantage. Why? Because
Mm-hmm.
now you're really dealing with more of your institutional traders, the bigger
Mm-hmm.
time frame traders, and this is going to help you really see deeper
Yeah.
into the market.
I was zoomed in on this little section right here, but instead I can look at this whole thing and know the zone and know the range. That's the difference, is just being able to kind of know that whole thing.
Yeah.
Which I kind of saw this reach this zone again underneath that, and really wish I could have grabbed this a little earlier, but then didn't. Got in around the 29s, or
Yeah.
so added to that position a little bit today, around those 28s, or yesterday, and then added a little bit more today, just 20, 20, 20, not to throw it like a whole bunch. I think I actually have 69 shares total.
Yeah. And
Just to
it
like,
doesn't need to be much. That's the
and
fun part.
exactly. And one thing I learned is, like, you don't have to enter all your chips in on one at
Yeah.
one time.
This
If
is
you can buy in a tiered entry to these things, you don't have to say, "Hey, I want it all right now. Give me my ticket." Like,
I
it's
love
it's
that.
not the
I love
casino.
that, dude. You have no idea how many traders I see do this all the time. And I'm just like, I kind of want to shut. I don't tell them because I just feel like, oh man, like I feel like I'm being an asshole and telling them that they bought at the wrong price. But it's not that you're buying at the wrong price, bro. It's just that you might not want to put all your eggs at 29.24. Why not?
Yeah,
If the
yeah.
stock's pulling back and you think it could come back to 29, why not? Let's do 29.10,
Mhm.
29.15, 29.05. Let's build up a
Go.
position near that 29.10, have that mentality. And then I'm
Mhm.
closer to 29. I'm risking 10 cents versus I'm getting up here with all my shares at 20 cents and immediately a lot of times in the red, right? Let's just be
Mhm.
honest. How often
You
of your
purchase.
trades you
Yeah.
purchase and immediately you're in the red, bro? Like
You're
it's like it's almost like it's like they knew. And you're
"Got
like,
him. Got
oh,
him."
okay. All right. I guess I'm a little bit in the red here. And that's why I size into positions. I really do think sizing into positions with a free commission
Mhm.
environment is such a benefit. If you had to pay commissions, then yeah, we all go in at once, right? Because the
Mhm.
truth is we're paying for the trade. And when you don't have a lot of capital, you only want to pay for the trade once. But
Exactly.
if we don't have to pay for the capital of the trade, there's no fees involved. You can ladder your order like you're the algo. That's what I
Mhm.
say. Be the algo, bro. When you
There you
determine,
go.
hey, this is the stock I want to buy on the pullback, I'm going to set my orders like an algorithm. I'm going to get filled on the pullback, and you're going to watch. Sometimes you'll get like 2 of the orders filled. Maybe that third order layer doesn't get filled. But I'll tell you one thing, you'll feel a lot better when that turnaround comes. Now you're getting up pressure and you're having an average fill that's right below that up pressure.
Mhm.
That
Yeah.
makes me feel really good because now a lot of
Yes.
times I get now a fill below the VWAP, watching a
Mhm.
stock now get above VWAP and showing momentum for the day. And I can just kind of watch the VWAP. If it never breaks down for the rest of the day, and like let's say for the SQQs today, you got in
Mhm.
on that 28.94 break, that 28.90 break, and then
Yep.
you watched it clear back above 29. really you could kind of just sit back and watch this, let the stock work above 29.
That's it. And like, that's where I'm looking for this next kind of support resistance zone right there, right around 30, 29.90. And then if it's going to break that, then you're going to have a little bit of a run, little gap up. There's buyers that got trapped up here, that'll create resistance here. But you got to move here because there's a lot of good volatility in here. So you can get a nice run up to like that 30, 80.
Well, Jeff, I can tell you at least this much, man. Pencils are down, and we enjoyed this too much. We just took over the show and started talking about trading. So I hope you guys enjoyed that today, really. We're going to bring Jeff back. We'll do more with you, my friend. Stay tuned because we're going to learn a lot more how Jeff is continuing on his journey. You keep pushing, my friend. I'm super happy to see you pushing further in your journey. And I want to see you keep pushing forward, man. If you ever have any questions, you want to reach out to me, you want to talk to different traders, whatever that may be, you let me know, Jeff. I'm here for you, my friend.
No, anytime I've messaged you, you have been like on point, letting me know, answering me. So I want to thank you for that. Just kind of helping me through this process. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man, I want to see you take that next step and continue forward, just like you guys out there. I'd love to see you guys stepping up and taking your next step in the journey, whether that be with day trading, swing trading, investing overall. That's what we're all here for. We're just trying to get better and try to push our families forward. So I keep hoping that you, my friend, I'm going to see you one day trading big. My man, Jeff D, have a good one. Definitely give him a follow.
Thank you, guys.
I'm going to throw up his link in the chat here if you guys haven't give Jeff the follow. And he does do some really good charts that he throws up. So it's not like you guys only will hear from him here. Definitely check out his charts that he throws up. I love the analysis he put up. Check it out all the time, my friend. Take care, Jeff.
All right, thank you.
All right, that's going to be it for today. We went a little bit of overtime, but I hope you guys enjoyed the action here. Smash the like always. We got Cannabis Insider coming up next. All right, that's going to do it for me today, man. Dang, Jeff took over the show there. He's a good guy out there, and we're going to keep pushing. I hope you guys enjoy that action. Really good stuff there, transparency, and you guys can see the journey isn't easy, but find what works best for you. I think that's the number one lesson that I think Jeff really found. He tried to really kind of adjust to his personality. I hope you guys can take that and definitely go to the next level. We'll see you guys, like always. Smash the like. I'll see you bright and early, of course, on Pre-Market Prep tomorrow. Catch some earning stocks tonight. Of course, you got tonight, you got Airbnb, EA, Oxy, Rivian. There's so much. Affirm. It's going to be fun to talk tomorrow. Roblox. Oh, man. It's going to be a good one. Don't miss tomorrow, Pre-Market Prep. I'll see you there, team.